Hi, I'm Peter Birch, and in this show we're going to discover some important facts about the python species that inhabits the east coast of Australia. Welcome to CrittaCam. This is one of the beautiful creatures that inhabits the east coast of Australia. This beautiful python right here, the diamond python. It's absolutely a spectacular animal, very dark in coloration. It actually inhabits some of the coldest and wettest climates than any other python in the world. For me, it makes these animals extra fascinating. I mean, they're such an adept creature to live in such cold environments. Got these big, beautiful yellow rosettes and a lot of fleckering to help them camouflage and hide amongst the trees and amongst the leaf litter here on the east coast. These beautiful creatures inhabit an area just north of Newcastle, all the way down to the Nowra, Bega area down south of New South Wales. Such a beautiful creature. I mean, the record for these beautiful creatures is about 54 eggs. That's a lot of eggs. And I mean, it takes a lot to produce such a large quantity of eggs. We're talking a large amount of food. These guys typically eating things like birds, small mammals and possums. I mean, for me, that's pretty exciting right there. And I mean, look at that guy. It's absolutely gorgeous. Some of these creatures are a lot more yellow and are a lot wider as well. I mean, just look at that guy. It's just gorgeous. Another stunning example of a diamond python is this beautiful creature here. I mean, look at the amount of yellow that's inside this animal. Typically, you find these types of animals a lot closer to the coast. So a lot of the beach sort of areas on the central coast here, we typically find a lot more like this. And the yellows are more vivid and brighter in colour. Often referred to as the Gosford Ayman, these are the absolute beautiful example of one. A lot of yellow flecking right through this animal. I mean, Gosford's an area on the central coast of New South Wales and very close to the coast, which is exactly where you typically find these beautiful examples of high yellow diamond pythons. I mean, they're a cold climate animal, such a beautiful creature. I'm not sure if it wants to bite me or just wants to have a close kiss. But man, I'm getting a little bit worried here. Calm down, little one. Another stunning example of a diamond python is this black and white animal, a highly treasured individual. Now, typically towards the southern end of their distribution, you find these animals that are devoid of yellow coloration and they're more white in colour. I mean, being so far south, you can understand why they need to be so black and so white to be able to absorb as much heat as they can out of the sun so they can become active. This time of the year, these beautiful creatures are typically a little bit more dormant. I mean, it's winter, it's cold. These animals have found somewhere to refuge during the winter, waiting for the sun to come out in those beautiful, freaky days like today to come out and bask, but typically waiting until summer comes. And I mean, as soon as summer comes, the first item is spring. Spring brings about a bit of invigoration, and these guys, I mean, the males will hunt down the females for breeding, and hopefully the females will produce a nice sized clutch. Like I said before, the biggest clutch recorded in captivity was 54 eggs. That's a lot of eggs, but typically it's around about 16 to 20. I mean, look at this stunning animal. Another beautiful example of diamond python. This is what they're referring to as the natural hybrid, or an intergrade. This beautiful creature here comes from around about the Port Macquarie area, better known as Kempsey. The Kempsey area is really well known as these beautiful creatures. They typically have the same coloration as a diamond, but the blotches are a lot bigger. They almost have bands, as you can see, the bands start to form so that the diamond pattern almost fades out. It's almost a connection between the carpets and the diamonds is where this beautiful creature inhabits, that very small area. I mean, they're truly a stunning animal of their own, and to be a natural hybrid, man, that's pretty cool. Intergrades can actually breed with both carpets and diamonds. That's pretty cool in itself. They're so closely related, it's almost like country cousins. And I mean, these are absolutely stunning examples. And I mean, both diamonds, carpets, and the intergrades will also grow to about 10 feet as their maximum length. That's a monster of an animal, but the average animal is about 6 to 7 feet. And I mean, could you imagine a 6 to 7 foot animal just like this with the diamond colours and these beautiful big bands? I mean, that's going to be a gorgeous animal. Another one of the pythons that inhabits the east coast is this beautiful carpet python. I mean, everyone knows about carpet pythons. They've probably been around for 1 million years, if not more. But the name itself actually referred to the carpets, the colour of the carpet back in the early 70s. I mean, that's quite gross, but these animals are not gross. They're absolutely spectacular animals. I mean, they've got this nice, big, chunky head, big, strong, powerful jaws. And trust me, when these guys latch hold of you, you remember it for a long time. They're a nice chunky bodied animal, and the colours themselves are absolutely amazing. There can be such a great diversity within the colours themselves. They can be from almost blacks through to real chocolate browns, right through the greys, and some of these beautiful, look at these beautiful creamy colours and nice browns. I mean, these things are absolutely spectacular. They inhabit the area anywhere from Rockhampton all the way down to Coffs Harbour on the east coast. I mean, these are absolutely spectacular animals. They make great pets, and they're probably the most commonly kept pet in the world for the carpet python family is this guy here, the coastal carpet. An absolutely spectacular critter. I mean, these guys will max out around about 10 feet, and I believe there was an individual caught that was 10 feet, and it was a monster of an animal. I mean, that thing was as thick as my thigh. It was an absolute beast of an animal, and that was caught in the Coffs Harbour area, which is right on the southern tip of its distribution. To think that an animal that big gets around, man, you'd have to be amazed at the size of the animals these guys can feed on. And I mean, they've done some radio tracking of possums and found that, unfortunately, carpet pythons are eating the possums. One of the few reptiles that benefits from humans coming into an area are the pythons themselves. I mean, we come into this beautiful bushed area, we create a area where we want to build a house, we stick a house up. These guys will come into the houses during winter, into the rooftop areas, for somewhere to hide and relax during the cooler months where they can be a bit more protected. And also during the warmer months, you might get a possum or a bird come into your ceiling. Well, these beautiful creatures will take care of that. But more importantly, wherever humans go, we tend to bring rubbish. And of course, rubbish brings in rodents. And rodents, well, it's one of the best food sources for these beautiful critters right here. It's not unusual to go up into a ceiling space to find a python wrapped around a clutch of eggs also. And for me, that's pretty damn cool. They've made the best out of a bad situation. You know, they've lost a bit of habitation. These guys have come in and used that house as the perfect area to raise their babies. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's show about the pythons that inhabit the east coast of Australia. Such a variety in colours and patterns. Man, I think these things are absolutely gorgeous. And for me, my favourite is the diamond python. Please leave me a comment below so I know what your favourite is, and hit me up on Facebook and Twitter. Till next time, thanks for watching CrittaCam.